Right, who wants to go? Yes, you at the back. I'm working tomorrow through the day. I have to be up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, which isn't too fun. I'm on Blue Peter in the morning. I think it's live at 9 o'clock if you want to tune in. And then I'm going home. I'm having a huge party with all my friends and family at my house. And then we're hitting the town, which I'm a little bit nervous about. But yeah, we've got a venue in Newcastle that's going to look after and throw us a bit of a bash. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, I've never actually really talked about this, but when I first won, I remember the first week of winning, and we went on this huge promo trail, and all through the week, like, I had this knot in my stomach because it just felt so weird that, like, so many people were, like, interested in everything that was going on. There was paparazzi chasing the car, and I was just like, the whole week I just kept thinking, what on earth has happened to my life? And then I went home and it settled down a bit, and I chilled out with all my friends and family. Then I went straight into working on the album, and it wasn't until I think the start of the classic promo, I was a bit like, right, I get this now. I get how it all works. And I kind of came into my own with it a bit, and I just started to kind of, before I would always worry about what people would think and what would happen if this happened and that happened, and I kind of thought, do you know what it is? I got dropped by my first record label, I came through that, I got through that bit, I went on the show, I had all the press about the sexuality thing, all of that kind of stuff. I thought, what is the worst that can happen? Do you know, like, just enjoy it for what it is and start to kind of take it for what it is. And I kind of went into the classic album with that attitude. And I've had a blast ever since, so it seems to be working. I think the best thing is to try not to worry about things. You know, it's a lot easier for people to say something nasty than to say something nice. You know, I'm sure everybody does it. You read a magazine, you go, oh God, look at this, and like gossipy, and it's just what happens. You know, everybody does it, and I put myself here, so I kind of just shut myself off from all of that, and kind of just, you know, as long as I do a good job in my job and I'm at the best I can be, that's all I really care about. And yeah. Somebody has told me that before, that I do look like George Michael. Don't say that, he's on the front, that's obviously a no-go. Yeah, I have had that a few times. A few people have said that. Yes.
Actually, I think you look like a young Elvis.
Elvis?
Yeah.
If I can have his success, I'll be happy. Yes.
Joe, would you like to be in the West End, and what part would you like to do?
It is something I would like to try. The problem with the West End is, it's great, it's an amazing experience. You get to be on stage every night, but the other thing about it is it's so tiring because you can't go anywhere. And I kind of like to be on the go all the time, so I'd be a bit like a caged animal, even though I'd be on stage every night. I've been offered a few roles in the past that I haven't been able to take due to timings of things and things like that. But a role at the minute, if I was to go into any show, probably Ghost the musical. I would like that. Yes, little girl in the corner. I am, yes. I mean, I'm friendly with people in X Factor, that was the question. I am, yes. It's hard for us to see each other, but there's only a rare amount of people that get to go through that experience, and nobody can kind of imagine how crazy it is. So you kind of have a bond with everybody that's been a part of that show because you know what they've gone through. So yeah, I do still try and keep in touch with Stacey and Ollie and Jedward, of course. Yeah, I do. Always try and catch up when we can. Yes.
How do you cope with the public coming up to you all the time and kissing you? Yeah.
Kissing us? Do you know what it is? I've never ever minded it. I feel like people. I think I should wear a mask when I go out. No, I don't mind meeting people and talking to people and things. Sometimes, you know, people can be not rude, just kind of like really invade you, and it's like, what? You know, like, never met you before in my life, and it's quite scary because they really feel like they know you because they've seen you on TV, and you're like, you could literally just kill me right now, you know. But I understand, you know, that I've done that in the past. I've seen people, I've watched people on TV, and you do have a connection with them. You feel like you know them, and I enjoy nothing more than meeting people, hearing their stories about where they watched the X Factor or if they've heard the album and things like that, because, you know, that's my job to give back to the people that, you know, support me through my music. So it's kind of just, I enjoy it, and I'm just thankful for the support. I'd be more worried if I was walking down the street and people were hurling abuse at us. I'm just thankful that doesn't happen. Look, teacher at the back. Say that again? Going up against Ollie Murs. It was, you know, when you're in a show like that, everybody has different strengths and different performances, different songs, and we were so sheltered from the press and everything. So I think the week that I won, like the odds had shot up that I was the favourite, and generally on the TV shows, the favourite in the last week tends to win. But everybody was telling me all of this, but I kind of was totally kept away from it. I was rehearsing, and I kind of honestly thought he was going to win, because you never go on to something like that and think, right, I'm going to win it. But no, the opposite happened. So I was just kind of like, wow, you know. But he's doing well as well, and it's amazing to see each other's journeys. You know, it's good. Yes.
On the subject of Ollie Murs, was there like an awkwardness when you said that you won instead of him?
God, I feel like I'm having an interview with a son. Yeah. There wasn't an awkwardness at all. We got on really well. We were actually really friendly in the show. I actually haven't seen him for a long time. The last time I seen him was before Christmas. But whenever we see each other now, it's just like we've always known each other. Yeah, so it wasn't really that awkward. I think, you know, we both stood behind the doors when the final was going on. I was hyperventilating on Cheryl's shoulder, and we both kind of just said to each other, you know, whatever happens, you know, we've had the platform, we've had this thing that's going to, you know, hopefully help with in our careers, and that's what it kind of has done anyway, so it was all good. Yes. You. I was at college doing performing arts. Bits of, we had a theatre like this at my college, and we used to do shows and things like that, and I was in the second year, so I would have been due to leave in well, it was actually the year after, I would have had another year. And I probably would have ended up coming to a theatre school in London, or training to be like a performing arts teacher or something, or just trying to do stuff. But I did always want to be a paramedic as well, so I probably, if nothing had happened music-wise, I would have went and been a paramedic. Not bright enough to be a doctor. Yes. To the voice. Do you mean to audition or to just sing on the show? Sing on it. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like it got really badly slated in the press, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know about anybody else, but it was great, and I think they were allowed a lot more artistic control. I don't know whether that was where maybe the public didn't get it, because it wasn't so kind of polished and slick, and the product was there. I don't know how that works, but I would have performed on it. It was a good show, and the set looked really cool. So,
Was you asked?
I wasn't asked, no, because the way it all works with TV shows, I'm going to get boring on you now. You can't really go on a TV show unless you've got an album out, but they won't have you on unless the album's ready to be out the next week. So if I hadn't had an album out, maybe it's because it was ran by Universal, so I probably would have got on. Yes. Favourite singer is Beyonce. Beyonce. She's my idol. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
As great as you are, Joe, and we all think you're great, obviously you need a musician. How can I ask how you and Jamie came together to write songs?
I'll tell you the story about how me and Jamie met each other. About 2 years before X Factor. Yeah. 2 years before X Factor, I took part in like a regional competition called Music Means Life, and Jamie was a performer on the. He wasn't in the competition. He was one of the guest artists to perform on the show, and I met him then, and we had a good chat. And I remember I used to always go and listen to his music. I really enjoyed his music, and then I went and did X Factor, and it wasn't until was it February this year? Yeah, February we did this show called Sunday for Sammy in the North East, which was a big charity event again. And Jamie was one of the MDs on the show. And we got talking, we went to an after party, and I got very, very drunk. And we ended up busking in the hotel lobby for all the people at the after party. And apparently, I can't remember this, but I apparently asked her to play The Climb 5 times in a row. We played it 5 times in a row, because I kept going, play The Climb. It's like, we'll play that one. Play The Climb. But we did it, and then basically my manager Angie kind of set us two up, and we went into the studio. It was just a chilled out day to try something. I took some lyrics in that I had worked on, and then we came up with a song, and here we are today. It's on the album. So that was how we met each other. Yes. Yeah, it's you.
When you look in the mirror, do you still see the same person you saw before you started the X Factor?
No. I don't. I still see myself as just Joe and nothing else. But I think I've learned a lot in the past 2 years. I had to grow up very, very quickly on that show. It was the first time being away from home. I kind of had, my mum was on the end of the phone, but when you don't have that physical kind of support there that's just there to look after you, you've got to get a bit tough. And I grew up really fast in the space of like 3 months. And then with the first album, I kind of, I experienced the whole kind of thing with Psycho and leaving them and parting them, and I started to get a bit more gutsy about things. And I would say I'm just kind of a stronger version of what I was before I went on the show. And I'm not as scared to take on a challenge now. Desert, what's desert? Should I know what that is? Is it like what 3 songs would I have to play on a desert island? You what?
Radio 4 and all great people go on that programme, so you're bound to be you eventually.
And what would I sing on it?
No, what you would take with you, your favourite track.
Right, okay. I don't listen to the radio a lot, but I do love BBC Radio 4.
And complete works of Shakespeare as well.
Right. What songs would I take on with this? I think I'd like to take a bit of a modern twist. Would they have Crazy in Love on Beyonce? Maybe it's a Lady Antebellum track. I don't think they get enough recognition in the UK, and I think they're incredible. They write amazing lyrics. Definitely a Beyonce song. And are you allowed to take one of your own songs? I'll take one of my own songs. Maybe it's off the new album. Yes. We'll have a tour planned. You are? We're planning a tour at the minute, but I really enjoy these kind of things. A lot of these things happen with, you do a lot of these kind of things with radio stations and it goes live on the radio, so I'm sure when the new album's out we'll probably do a few of these. I did one in Newcastle for Smooth Radio and that was quite cool. But yeah, I really enjoy them. I get really nervous for them though, because I kind of feel like I'm stripped. There's no makeup on the track. There's no backing vocals and orchestras, anything like that. So stop being rude. One more, okay? Yes. Of course. Of course. you know, it's great. There's nothing. I love travelling all over the country, going to see everybody, and being everywhere. But there's also nothing better as well than going home as well and doing work there. And that, you know, I try and still live there as much as possible. It's not always possible. I do get there quite back. I have been getting there quite a lot at the minute with us being recording, but come September time I'll probably be living out of a suitcase for a long time. But yeah, I love where I come from, so don't worry, I won't forget it. Okay, now this next song